How's it going, everyone? It's July 24th, 2024, and this cherry is called Gold. Just Gold, or Stark Gold. I got it from Stark Brothers. I think they might be the ones that introduced it. But when it's ripe, it has no blush. It's just gold. And it's late. There's not very many other cherries that are still hanging at this time of July. It's sweet with a little hint of sourness. Camera doesn't want to focus, but pretty pleasant to eat. Seed is as usual. It's not a very large cherry. Rainier is bigger. The cool thing about this one is it's so late and it's so yellow that the birds don't peck on it because they're fooled by the color because it's not red. And so the birds don't attack it. There's one down here. The birds don't really attack it. It's also known to be very cold hardy. I think this cherry is said to be able to go down to zone 3. I am in zone 8, Northwest Washington. Keep in mind that my zone 8 is different than some of the southeastern states' zone 8. Zone only tells you how cold your winters get. It does not tell you how warm your summers get. We have cool summers, mild winters. We get the most chill in the country in Northwest Washington here, because chill below 0 does not count. Our mild winters enable us to get, like, I don't know, well over 1,000, like way over 1,000 hours of chill that we get here. But it's a tasty cherry. It lacks complexity. It doesn't quite have the complexity of the red cherries. Here comes the train. Darn it. The only other cherries that probably might still be hanging is Lapins. But it looks like they're mostly overripe. Like this really dark one is probably overripe. Actually, it still feels pretty hard. It's dark. That one has the classic cherry flavor. Although, Lapins is not my favorite red cherry. My favorite red one is one that I call late red. I don't know what the variety is. I thought it was Lapins, but it's not. It's actually earlier than Lapins. Or Lapins, I don't know how you pronounce it. Lapins is nice because it's self-fertile. So like there was a cluster of flowers here and they all set. And it's larger. It is larger than the yellow, the gold cherry. This one does have full flavor. It's just not quite my favorite, but it's almost there. Like if you want a cherry that'll set a lot of fruit, probably Lapins. I mean, it's just a well-rounded cherry. You can't go wrong with it. I think it has pretty good crack resistance. It's a commercial variety. So definitely way to go. A good variety. This is on Gisela 3 dwarfing rootstock. I think this is all Lapins on this tree. This tree is a combination of Royal Rainier and Gold. Gold, however, is a stronger grower than Rainier or Royal Rainier. Rainier is a little bit more upright, Gold has a little bit more of a spreading habit. The only thing I don't like about Gold is it didn't set a lot. It did have a lot of flowers, but it didn't set. And partially the reason is it blooms very late, and there wasn't another variety to cross-pollinate this. That's the train in the background, so just excuse the noise. I'm gonna keep rolling the video as long as it's not honking too loud. So the cool thing about this one is the birds won't peck at it. Like, the birds will leave this one alone for the most part. They're so late in the season, and they're yellow. So like the birds are after the early cherries and the red ones, and the ones that are blush red on one side. So like the Royal Rainiers, they get pecked. They get pecked pretty hard. But these get left alone. It's a good cherry. Like, if there's no cherry, it's nice to have a homegrown cherry like this one. Like, it definitely beats any store-bought cherry. It just doesn't stack up well on flavor with other cherries. But considering, like, if your birds are taking all your cherries, then wouldn't you rather just have this instead of no cherry at all? So I mean, this is a good way to get around the birds for sure. But I think you might need a late blooming cherry to go with it to get a good fruit set. I still have ants on the tree because I made a video of this. This is how I stop ants. You put a plastic container on the tree or a bucket, and then you put Vaseline or grease on the inside rim. And that usually stops the ants. But the tree has grown and expanded and opened up the container, and so now the ants have found their way around again. But it's now later in the season, and so I guess the aphids aren't surviving as well on the tree anyway. So you can see where there was aphid damage, the tree has grown past the aphid damage, and now it's back to normal again, even though there's still ants on the tree. So the container served a purpose. The other update on the container method of stopping ants from going onto your cherry trees and planting the aphids there is the small ants. They get stopped just by a container like this and a Vaseline on the inside rim. For the larger black carpenter ants, what you may need to do is glue cotton to the bottom portion in there. Glue cotton or tape cotton all the way around so it's tight. Apparently the ant can't cross cotton, especially if it's hanging upside down from it, trying to cross over, go down the container, back up the container, and up the tree. So for the carpenter ants, if you can't get them to stop just by putting grease and a container like this, don't put the grease on the tree because that can damage the tree, but Vaseline or grease on the inside rim usually stops the little ants. These big carpenter ants are very persistent. They'll keep climbing. I noticed them climbing even before this opened up. They were climbing past the Vaseline, past the grease on the inside rim, even though, like, I swore that stopped every other ant. I was like so positive that it was gonna work, but they kept getting through, even though I posted a video on it. But I've tried it a couple years before. Is the most sure method of actually stopping the big carpenter ants is taping cotton to the top portion of that container and make sure it's perfectly sealed, no holes around here. That'll stop the ants, most likely. There's still no 100% guarantee, but just giving you guys ideas. People struggling with ants climbing on their trees. Couple more cherries down here. Some of these are actually nice looking down here. They do have this weird discoloration to them a little bit. I don't know what that is. They taste the same though. But you have to wait for these to ripen. It's hard to judge when they're ripe. You do have to wait long. It's a late cherry. don't pick them too soon, because I picked them early one year and I didn't like the taste of them at all. Now they're actually really good. They just lack a little bit of complexity. In terms of sweetness, they got it. They got a little tartness, small amount of tartness to them. Good cherry flavor. Just like a little bit of that red cherry taste, or even the Rainier. You know, it has more flavor than this one. But this definitely has its place because of its way of evading the birds. So the train just won't stop today. So anyway, everyone, thanks for watching. If you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.